He told me, "You're the only one I'd ever bring home." Then I found a keychain in his drawer that said, "Thanks for last night, love, eh?" I didn't say anything. I replaced his apartment key with a toy one and left it with the note, "Not anymore." I never thought I'd end up writing something like this. I'm not someone who usually shares personal stuff online, but I've been holding this in and it's eating me alive. So, here it goes. I'm 38. I live in Chicago. I work in marketing at a mid-sized company downtown. I'm the kind of person who plans everything out. I'm not impulsive. I don't take risks unless I've weighed all the outcomes. I don't play games. And for the past 2 years, I was in what I thought was a serious, committed relationship with a man I trusted completely. Let's call him Mark. He's 42. Works in finance. Nice apartment in the South Loop. Drives a black Audi. The kind of guy who keeps his fridge stocked with craft beer, his bookshelf organized by color, and always has the right thing to say. You know the type. We met at a birthday party for a mutual friend. He came up to me at the bar, we talked for almost an hour, and by the end of the night, he asked if he could take me out sometime. The next weekend, we went to a small Italian place in Lincoln Park. He was charming, funny, and had this calm confidence that made me feel safe. I hadn't felt that in a long time. After a few weeks of dating, he invited me over to his place. That's when he said it. "You're the only one I'd ever bring home." I remember that line so clearly. We were sitting on his couch. Max, his Labrador, was asleep at our feet. I remember thinking it was such a sweet thing to say. That maybe he was finally ready for something real. I met his friends. We went to parties, weddings. I met his sister when she came to visit from Arizona. He met my parents when they came into town. Everyone loved him. My dad said, "He's a keeper." My mom cried after dinner and said, "I haven't seen you this happy in years." We talked about the future, seriously. Buying a place together, getting married, kids. All of it. He'd talk about moving out of the city, maybe to Oak Park or Evanston. I'd look at listings online, just dreaming. It felt like we were building something. Like the foundation was real. But I guess you already know that's not how this story ends. One night, I went over to his apartment after work. He wasn't home yet, he'd left a key for me months ago. Said I should always feel like it's my place too. Max greeted me at the door, wagging his tail like nothing was wrong. I went into his office to grab a pen. I'd left a folder on his desk earlier in the week, and I needed to jot something down before I forgot. That's when I opened the drawer. There was a keychain. Small, silver. Heart-shaped. Looked new. It said, "Thanks for last night, love, eh?" I stared at it. At first, I didn't understand. Then I did. And then I didn't want to understand. My stomach dropped. My face got hot. I picked it up like maybe if I touched it, it would make sense. Who the hell was A? Why did she thank him? Why did he keep it? I heard the elevator ding. He was on his way up. I didn't think. I acted. I still had the spare key he gave me on my keychain. I walked over to his little bowl by the door where he keeps his wallet and watch. Took his apartment key from the ring. Swapped it with a toy key I had from one of those silly novelty rings my coworker gave me as a gag. Then I grabbed a sticky note and wrote, "Not anymore." I placed the fake key and the note on the counter. I put the keychain in my purse. Max followed me to the door. I gave him a kiss on the head and whispered, "I'm sorry, buddy." Then I left. I didn't wait for him to come in. I didn't want to hear his voice. I didn't want to see his face. I didn't want to know how he was going to lie his way through this one. I got in my car and drove. Nowhere in particular. Just drove. Ended up at my sister's house in Des Plaines. She didn't ask questions. Just let me in, poured me a glass of wine, and sat with me while I cried. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, turning everything over in my head. All the times he said he was working late. The weekends he said he needed alone time. The last-minute business trips. The way he always kept his phone face down. The woman who commented, "You looked amazing last night," winky face on one of his Facebook pictures, and how he said she was just a friend from work. It all added up. I just didn't want it to. He tried calling the next day. Texted me. "Where are you? Can we talk? What happened?" I ignored it all. I wasn't ready. Then came the emails. Long ones. Apologetic ones. Angry ones. One even said, "You're overreacting." That one hurt the most. I took the keychain out of my purse and looked at it again. "Thanks for last night, love, eh?" I ran through every woman I could remember him mentioning. Amanda? Ashley? Anna? Then I remembered the girl from his work he once mentioned in passing. Amanda. Said she was annoying. Said she was always flirting with the guys in the office. I asked if she ever flirted with him and he laughed and said, "No way. Not my type." Liar. I don't have proof. Not really. But I have enough. And now he doesn't have a key to his place. Because he doesn't have me. So, after I left his apartment and stayed at my sister's for a few days, things went quiet. I ignored every single one of Mark's texts and calls. I was still in shock, still trying to figure out if what I found really meant what I knew it meant. Then, about a week later, I got a call from my office building's front desk. "Hey Sarah, there's a man here asking for you. Says it's urgent." I froze. I already knew who it was. I told them to tell him I wasn't there and to not let him up again. That night, I got home to find a bouquet of red roses sitting on my doorstep. No card. Just the roses. I didn't bring them inside. I left them out there. Let the wind take them if it wanted. The next morning, there was a letter under my door. Not an email. Not a text. A letter. 4 pages, handwritten. It started like this: "I know what you found. I'm sorry you had to find it that way. But it's not what you think. Please let me explain." He said the keychain was from a dumb, harmless mistake with someone from work. That it happened once. That he didn't love her. That it didn't mean anything. That it had been months ago. That he had cut it off. "You're the only one I love. You're my future. Please don't throw this away." He kept saying I was overreacting. That I was being emotional. That I should hear him out before deciding anything. I tore the letter up and tossed it in the trash. Then I blocked his number. I wanted to be done. I really did. But something kept nagging at me. Not because I wanted to believe him. But because I needed to know the truth. I needed to know how deep the lie went. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I messaged the girl I thought the keychain came from, Amanda. Found her on Instagram. Her profile was public, and I recognized her from a photo Mark had shown me once when he was ranting about annoying coworkers. He said she was too much. I now understood what he meant. I didn't accuse her of anything. I just said, "Hi Amanda. I think you and I may have something in common. I'm Mark's girlfriend." Or. I was. I didn't expect a response. She messaged back less than 10 minutes later. "Oh. Wow. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. We were seeing each other for a few months. I thought he was single." That was all it took. I almost threw my phone across the room. I told her everything I knew. She told me everything she knew. Our timelines overlapped. A lot. She met him at work. It started after a company retreat in Indianapolis. It went on for about 4 months. She said he started pulling away suddenly, and she figured he got bored or met someone else. She had no idea I was the someone else. Or more accurately, I was the one he was lying to while he played games with her. She also said she didn't leave the keychain. He told me he wanted something to remember me by when we stopped seeing each other. I joked and said, like a keychain? I never gave him one. So who the hell did? That messed me up even more. If Amanda didn't leave it, that meant there was someone else. Another one. I couldn't stop shaking. I had thought this was one betrayal. One person. One mistake. It wasn't. This wasn't a one-time thing. This wasn't even a two-time thing. This was who he was. I thought about every dinner, every I love you, every weekend trip. I imagined him standing in front of a mirror, practicing his lies, checking himself out before going to see one of us. I didn't cry this time. I felt nothing. I just sat in the quiet and stared at the wall for a long time. The next day, I went to his apartment. I still had the building code memorized. I didn't go to talk. I didn't want answers. I just wanted to see what kind of man could look me in the eyes every day and say he loved me while treating women like toys. But when I got there, someone else opened the door. Not Mark. A woman. She looked confused. She said, "Can I help you?" I asked if Mark still lived there. She said he moved out 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I didn't even ask where. I just thanked her and walked away. He disappeared. And now I had to decide what came next. So, I found out Amanda wasn't the one who left the keychain. And then Mark moved out of his apartment without telling anyone. No warning. No message. Just gone. I felt this mix of anger and something colder, like disgust. It should have ended there, but life doesn't always work that cleanly. A week later, I got a message from Amanda again. "Hey. I found out something. I think you need to know." Turns out, she mentioned our whole situation to someone else from their office, a girl named Rachel. Rachel's reply? Wait. You're talking about Mark? Didn't he just take Ally to his cousin's wedding last month? That's how I found out about the third woman. Ally. I had no idea who she was. But Amanda tracked her down online. Found her tagged in a wedding post next to Mark, his arm around her waist, smiling like he hadn't blown up 2 lives already. I didn't think. I messaged Ally. She replied the next day. I don't believe you. Mark and I have been together for almost 2 years. We live together now. Live together? He told me I was the only woman he ever brought home. Meanwhile, he moved in with someone else while dating 2 others. She didn't want to believe me. So I sent her screenshots, texts, pictures of the keychain, my photo with Max, the note I left. Silence. Then, the next day, Ally messaged again. We need to talk. In person. We met at a diner in Evanston. It was pouring rain, and everything felt like a bad movie. She walked in with her coat soaked, hair pulled back, no makeup, just raw. She slid into the booth across from me and stared at me for a full minute. You weren't lying. No. I wasn't. We sat for 2 hours. Amanda showed up too. The 3 of us, sitting in this weird triangle, each connecting pieces of a man who had split himself 3 ways. His timeline fell apart once we lined everything up. He had juggled us for over a year. He had different explanations for why he couldn't see us on weekends. Business trips. Family emergencies. Office deadlines. Once, he said he was sick and couldn't see me. Turns out, he was with Ally in New York at a family event. He wasn't just a cheater. He was a liar in the deepest, most exhausting way. Amanda was shaking. Ally was crying. I sat frozen. That's when Amanda said something I'll never forget. He made me feel like I was crazy every time I asked a question. Now I know I wasn't. We decided to confront him. Together. Amanda knew he was supposed to show up at a company event that Friday. A casual happy hour at a rooftop bar. We went. He didn't see us right away. He was laughing with coworkers, holding a drink, the picture of confidence. Until he looked up and saw all three of us standing together. His face dropped. He walked over slowly, all his fake charm suddenly gone. He tried to act calm. "Hey, what's going on?" Ally stepped forward. "How long were you going to keep all of us?" He looked from her to me to Amanda. His mouth opened. Then closed. No words came out. Amanda handed him the keychain. "You left this in your drawer." "Who gave it to you, Mark?" "Me? Her? Or someone else we haven't met yet?" People around us started to notice. The music kept playing, but the air had shifted. Coworkers turned and watched. He stammered something about misunderstandings and bad timing. He blamed stress. Work. His fear of commitment. His need for control. I just laughed. It wasn't even funny, but something about his face, sweating, red, trembling, made me crack up. All this effort, all these lies, and in the end, he got caught in the dumbest way possible, a keychain. Ally was crying. Amanda looked like she was about to hit him. I just stood there. Then he looked at me. "Sarah. I messed up. But I cut him off. Don't say my name. Not anymore." And I walked out. He tried to text. I didn't respond. He sent long emails to all of us. Excuses, apologies, please let me explain. We never replied. A few weeks later, Ally moved out. Amanda told HR turns out, he had a pattern of flirting at work. He didn't get fired, but he got transferred. Probably humiliated. I never saw him again. I learned something about myself in all this. I ignored red flags. I wanted to believe him because I wanted a future. I held on too long. But in the end, I wasn't the fool. He was. Because I was loyal. I was all in. I loved him for real. And he threw it away for attention and ego. I'm in therapy now. I still have moments where I miss Max more than I miss Mark. I don't check his socials. I don't ask mutual friends about him. I don't care. Amanda and I still text sometimes. Ally too. We check in. We remind each other that we weren't crazy. We were lied to by the same man, and now we're free from him. People ask if I'll ever trust again. I say this, I'll try. But I'll never let anyone dim my instincts again. I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeless. I'm just wiser now. And sometimes, that's enough.